9th of March 2008, the Dean Organ project, what I've been calling it. There's the plans for the shelving for the books. That's the actual shelving there, already cut up and done. As you can see from this, that's how it's built. This is one one extra we had when we're cutting off. I'm just trying to get it into some sort of shot for you. There you go. And you can see all holler inside, helps to keep the weights down. Now, as you can see, we've actually stripped out all the walls. Everything's been taken off. The seating's gone. So is the cooker. Everything's gone. We're taking the floor out in a few minutes. That's coming out because just this surface here. That's all you can see. That we're taking that out, and that's where we've got to the stage. We're going to assemble these shelves. We're going to clad the walls. This brown stuff is just Bostik of some description, or some adhesive of some description, that was holding the carpet that was glued to the walls. A humongous job to shift it. So it wasn't actually cladded inside in any way, only with carpet, as you actually probably saw in an earlier video on this wall around the window. That's what was all over it. Obviously served its purpose over the years, but an absolute nightmare to move. We've also discovered something that we've got to do a little bit of attention to. We're just going a bit closer. Top rivet's missing all the way down on the front edge there. Thought we've got a case of aluminium worm. Sorry. But there we go, that's where we've got to at this stage. Right, another little jig that I use. Quite an old little piece of kit. There you go, all set up. All we're doing now is just go down there. This is for the dowels. That's going to hold a lot of them together. Yes, we are going all the way through. There is a reason for that, I'll explain later. To just help with the construction an awful lot. So I'm doing this with one hand, not the recommended way, but make sure it's sat down correctly and it's flush with the edge. Pick up the drill, down the guide, put the drill down, take off the jig, quick blow, and that's where the dowels are going to sit. Same place every time and every one, so all we've got now is to do that lot. Assistant! This is the other half of the shelving. This is the actual boards, or the shelves if you like. This is a jig that we're going to use for drilling the holes through the board, as the other jig ain't large enough to do it. So just a piece of board, same size diameters, holes, as them, as you can see, let's put it into micro, as you can see, line up with them holes, and we've put the bushes in as a guide for the drill to go straight through. Little holes here so we can line the pencil marks up. I don't know if you can see that. So we can line the pencil marks up, left and right. So we do it, set it up, clamp and drill. Right, as you can actually see, we've got another set of holes in this one. There's a bit of a jig there, there and there, which is just to make the pilot holes in the side walls. As you can see there, there and there. It just means they're all exactly the same. Ideal for when you're drilling holes in a Winchester and you want them all in the same line, same principle. Right, just show you assembling one of these. Straightforward enough. Gluing both holes. Just make a video with an awkward one. There she goes, all done. That's all the pigeonholes assembled. We've still got the sides to put on, which we're going to do now. We're going to go all the way down there, both sides. It's actually upside down at the moment. Give you the weight of them in a few minutes when I've actually put the sides on. Then we'll weigh them I've actually weighed the material, but I broke it down somewhere and forgot. But they actually come out of about 1/4 of the weight of the original shelving. That's them in situ. Obviously not finished yet. We're only doing 3/4 width doors. Reason for that being is, so the doors, when the doors are on, will only actually come to about there, 3/4 of the width of the actual aperture. Reason for that gives the card breathing space. That way they shouldn't get overheated in the cupboard or go below what the actual trailer is. Should stay to the same temperature of the trailer at all times, so stop sweating the books. Well, skirting boards and dado rail fitted. Just emphasise that because I don't normally call it that. I'll give you a better video in a few minutes. Just drilling those holes there, ready for these to go in. So that's what they're for. Same as them ones, look. And I'm going to chop these off tomorrow, give them time to go off properly. So I just wanted to show you the dowels and the way that we've done the plugs, I should say, using a plug cutter. As you can see, the walls are getting cladded. And you can see we've actually put a laminate floor down. Reason being is, by the time we'd actually put a 10mm floor down of plywood, after taking the old one up, and then paying out to have the vinyl floor fully bonded, the extra weight and the extra cost was just a bit silly when we could go for a laminate floor. I actually hate laminate floors, but in this particular case, we'll see how it goes. As you can actually see, we've done all the skirting. From earlier videos you can see all the plugs we've done. We've not rubbed all these down yet, just chopped the edge of the plugs off. As you can see, all the corners pretty well done. Still got some plugs on that. We've still got the piece to put on the bottom of the skirting board just there, on the door I should say, and the little piece to go through the middle of the door that hides the joint in the boards. That's all the shelving. I'll just jump out so you can actually see that. We've not got the doors on the shelving yet. I'll just turn it around so you can see more. And that's basically where we've got to at the moment. All the profiling on the top of these we've actually done ourselves. We've not bought this in, we just bought the raw material in, of course. Same with that skirting board. The actual rail through the middle, the dado rail, is actually hiding the joint in the boards like so, hence the reason why we've got it there. Plus it provides a bit of rigidity for the boards so they don't move about too much. The actual dado rail is actually half of the floorboard, skirting board that we used. And now we're just going to get on with the rest of it. We're now just going to do all these corners. We're actually going to put a little bit of moulding in it. This is the moulding we're going to be using. We've actually just cut this profile. Essentially I've machined all the timbers up so they're all the same. So that's going in them corners, in all the corners. Because being mobile, every time we pull up, you're going to see a gap. Whether we like it or not, no matter how good of a joiner you are, when you come to trailers, things like that, if you look at all caravans, usually they've got a bit of a rubber one in the corner there. I was going to do it, but we've not decided what to do the walls in. Whether to do them in a varnish, paper them. I fancy that red flock paper from the 1970s, but can't seem to find it anywhere. So we don't know if to paint them, varnish them, or whatever. If anybody's got any ideas, what would be appropriate, would be helpful, thank you. Question I want to ask you all, on the shelving, I don't know what to use, whether to use varnish, leave them as they are, paper them out. Any of you guys out there that's got book organs, how do you store them? What do you use to protect them from the shelves? Because I ain't got a clue, because this is my first book organ. So if anyone can help me out there and advise me of what lining I should be putting on, or if I should be bothered putting any lining on at all, your comments would be appreciated.